I want to talk to you about TMD hosting, and the question is this web hosting service really worth it? Let's talk about that. Let me give you a bird's eye view of this platform first. So when you think about TMD hosting, I want you to think about a feature-rich web host that actually offers all the tools you need to build functional, beautiful websites. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about a personal project or a commercial one. You are going to have an array of features that TMD hosting provides, and you will love it. Now let's go a little bit in terms of pros and cons, so we have a clear idea what we're speaking about. But what I want to say before actually talking about the pros and cons is that featuring excellent customer service and many hosting types, TMD hosting is really a web hosting service to check out for your shared VPS, dedicated cloud and reseller hosting needs. So you can see that right off the bat, they offer a constellation of services and a variety that we love a lot. And TMD hosting also has excellent customer service and a rich selection. When you really think about it, rich selection of plans jam-packed with features. It's worth noting that the last time we actually evaluated TMD hosting, the web hosts actually had great results in terms of customer service, in terms of features, in terms of hosting categories. So this is kind of cool. And TMD hosting, we think, is a pretty good budget web hosting provider with a few standout features like the daily backups and 24/7 customer service. I mean, when you really think about it, you get what you paid for, right? And as long as you don't you don't actually go in with unrealistically high expectations, the platform will not let you down. I mean, you got to really, measure up your expectations. Let's talk about the pros and cons here. The pros first. The prices are affordable. It's easy to use a native dashboard and the cPanel combination. You have many free security tools. The customer support service is fast and knowledgeable, so this is really fantastic. You have numerous feature-packed hosting plans, and excellent customer service. Fantastic. What about the cons here? Renewal prices are almost double. Poor average response time. You cannot actually get a dedicated IP if you purchase the shared hosting. It's one of those things you have to think what really works for you. And some plans lack Windows-based hosting, and you have limited phone support hours. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. I want to talk to you about the value added here. So when we think about TMD hosting, what kind of value can they really add to your operation? And so first of all, let's talk about shared web hosting. This is a principal area, primary area where TMD hosting actually adds a lot of value. Shared hosting is generally the cheapest web hosting category a provider such as TMD hosting offers. With shared hosting, your website literally shares server resources with other sites, lowering the overall service cost. This low-price web hosting comes with a trade-off though. If your site sees a large traffic surge, your provider may temporarily take it offline because it's gobbling up resources from other sites, or you might see a slowdown on your site if one of your server mates actually gets a spike in visitors. So TMD hosting offers three tiers of competitively priced shared web hosting. So you have starter, business, and professional, and each plan includes a free domain name as well as unlimited storage, monthly data transfers, subdomains, and email. And they are very attractive offerings. Of course, there are subtle differences between the three packages of specs. So this is something to think about. You also have VPS web hosting. So in terms of a traditional hard drive or solid state drive-based web hosting, a virtual private server is a step above shared hosting. So like shared hosting, VPS hosting places multiple sites on a shared server, but you get your own server operating system instance. As a result, VPS hosting provides websites with greater system resources than shared hosting. This category's plans are generally a bit costlier than shared hosting too, so something you need to think about. You also have dedicated web hosting with TMD hosting. So dedicated web hosting through TMD hosting places your site on a server all by itself, so that it can be really a great opportunity in terms of system resources. So if you expect a large traffic volume, you want to go this route. Of course, you should expect to pay accordingly. And so TMD Hosting's 5 dedicated hosting server plans pack enough resources to handle even the most demanding websites. Then you also have a cloud web hosting. This is also a great opportunity through TMD hosting. So besides those four, you also have WordPress web hosting and reseller web hosting. So with WordPress web hosting, you need to understand that WordPress is an absolute gem of a content management system. It's one that's so easy to use that it powers more than 30% of the internet. So TMD Hosting offers three excellent WordPress hosting tiers. You have the starter, the business, and the enterprise, and they carry the same prices and specs as the company's shared web hosting packages. So this is kind of cool. And for the reseller, if you want to go into the web hosting business but do not want to deal with infrastructure matters, TMD Hosting has a Linux-based SSD-powered reseller hosting packages. Fantastic. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TMD hosting. The big question is this web hosting platform really worth it? So when we talk about building a website, let's say if you want to build a web hosting site with TMD hosting, is it really worth it? Well, it's one of those things. If you want to build a website, then TMD hosting is kind of decent. I mean, what they're offering you, you kind of have a decent sort of a platform here. You are able to build a website. Now, do not expect anything more convoluted or complex like a BigCommerce or a WooCommerce or a Magento website. No, you are getting a decent website, but nothing that really complex. Okay, so this is totally possible. And so it really uses a drag and drop builder. So you have a series of templates to choose from, and you have to see which one really works for you. The installation comes with more than a dozen customizable templates that actually gives you some kind of a functionality, some kind of a suitability to your site, of course. And so this is kind of cool. In terms of e-commerce and security, TMD Hosting's web hosting plans are compatible with many e-commerce tools, including Magento, a shopping cart service, and vertical response, and email marketing service. You can also add ID Protect for domain privacy, SatLock for a secure socket layer protection, and a handful of other features for strengthening the security of your domain. And so Magento has more flexibility in terms of colors and design options than your generic shopping cart service. But with that flexibility comes an extra layer of complexity that will actually demand more of your time. You also have a rock solid uptime process with TMD hosting. This is kind of cool. So we're speaking here about more than above 99.9%. Customer service is kind of decent. So TMD hosting offers 24/7 web chat-based customer and tech support. The phone support is limited to US business hours, so it's what it is. TMD hosting also has an impressive 60-day money-back guarantee that actually bests many web hosts' 30-day money-back guarantees that we have seen. And it isn't, however, as lengthy as the extremely generous 97-day guarantee offered by DreamHost. And so when you think about TMD hosting, I want you to think about an improved web host. So TMD hosting is loaded with wonderful features and boasts an excellent customer support squad. The service came close to returning to the industry-leading form that impressed us when we first reviewed it last year. Still, if you want WordPress hosting, the category in which TMD hosting previously had a lot of kudos, it's just better to go with another player such as Bluehost or A2 for that matter. I want to talk to you about pricing. I want you to look on the screen right now. Here is what the pricing looks like for TMD hosting as of the date of this show. So you can see the different categories of prices here, and you can see what really works for you. So you have a Linux shared hosting, WordPress hosting, managed Linux VPS hosting, and managed dedicated servers. So the thing here is that TMD hosting offers good prices with all of its hosting types. The cheapest shared hosting plan will cost you $2.99. And so if you're looking for a WordPress specific plan, or let's say cloud hosting plans, both come for a very affordable price too. As you can see on the screen, you can also choose from VPS reseller or dedicated server hosting. So this is what it is. Now, when we talk about shared hosting, this is usually great for a beginner-friendly hosting for smaller sites. For WordPress hosting, you are talking about affordable WordPress-focused hosting. For cloud hosting, this is slightly more advanced. This is slightly for more advanced users. Very affordable and powerful hosting. For VPS hosting, this is for bigger sites and online stores. A slightly more advanced solution. And a reseller hosting, you have website designers, developers, or those looking to resell websites. And for dedicated hosting, this is for a large resource-heavy sites or project. This is actually the most advanced option in our research here. So it's very clear that TMD hosting offers everything that you can think of, from shared hosting to dedicated servers. However, since shared hosting is the most in-demand service, that's exactly what you will get if you want to go to that tier. Basically, for shared hosting, as I said a little earlier, TMD hosting has 3 plans, and all plans, this is something we need to really insist on, come with a free domain, SSL, unlimited bandwidth and storage space, as well as unlimited email accounts, caching, and free access to Weebly site builder. So this is kind of cool. And one thing you need to think about here is that the best value when it comes to TMD hosting, it's really around their VPS hosting. Of course, if you have the resources for it, you will appreciate the kind of value they add at that level. So this is kind of cool. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TMD hosting, and the big question is this the web hosting platform really worth it or not? I want to talk to you about the extras here. So when we think about TMD hosting, what kind of extras should you really be thinking about? First of all, in terms of hosting management, is it easy to use? Well, ease of use is a crucial factor in actually choosing a hosting provider, no matter the experience level, and it doesn't depend on TMD hosting or another provider. You want to really have the ease of use. The UX must be there. The user friendliness must be there. And so when it comes to UX, basically, TMD hosting is really great. They have scored very high marks. This provider comes with a very simplistic native user interface, as well as a cPanel integration. Both panels are very easy to actually get accustomed to. So you will not spend a lot of time experimenting. Okay, and so this is kind of cool. We love the fact that they're constantly sort of improving their control panel. And so when it comes to a TMD hosting control panel, how does it look like, really? Well, what does it look like? So TMD hosting uses a slightly customized cPanel. And it's one of those things where I'm talking about the design of the functionalities, and the ease of use. So managing your domain settings, pretty easy. Setting up email accounts, activating your SSL certificate, installing WordPress, accessing Weebly site builder. So this is kind of cool. In terms of performance, TMD hosting is really fast. Yes, it's really fast. And so we're speaking about an uptime and response time. For uptime, we're talking about higher than 99.9% uptime. This is kind of cool. And for the speed, the hosting speed, this is kind of cool. Also, in terms of the largest content pin, the LCP. So we're talking about 400 to 600 milliseconds. This is kind of cool. We think that this is reasonable for this level of for this kind of websites. In terms of stress testing, really, TMD hosting also had really favorable results on that front also. And so we are speaking about the sort of metrics you see on the average in the market. And one thing I want to say here is that in general, TMD hostings managed to provide us with overall good performance results. Although the response time was a little bit subpar, their loading speed and reasonable stress test results proves that there is nothing to worry about too much when you think about TMD hosting. I want to talk to you about security. So if you want to entrust your website, your web hosting to TMD hosting, can you do it with all security? Well, when it comes to security, it seems that TMD hosting offers all the necessities you can expect from a modern web hosting platform. And so we are speaking about you get an in-house firewall. You have a series of filters that really cover all your data. So you are basically making sure that you are firewalling your data through your network. You have a Bit Ninja, which is a web-based firewall that safeguards WordPress websites against DDoS attacks. SSL certificates, really, which is an essential tool for all websites because it really creates a secure connection between browsers and the server. You have live malware protection. This tool makes sure that your server is well functioning and there are no issues. You have automatic daily backups so you can restore your website to a previous version in case something happens. Just remember that a version of your website is kept for only 5 days. So basically, in terms of free security features, that's what you get. Now, if you're willing to spend some money on security, here are a few paid options. You have SiteLock, Domain Privacy, and Spam Experts. So when we talk about SiteLock, the SiteLock Basic, this will cost you about $20, $20 to $25 per year. It protects your websites against malware, hackers, and other threats. And this is really what it is. You also have Domain Privacy. This will cost you 10 to 15, in some cases $20 per year. It hides your personal information that you had to give up when registering a domain from publicly accessible databases. And Spam Experts, here you are paying $9 to $15 per month. So this tool actually protects your email inbox from any spam and unwelcome emails. So overall, basically, we love the fact that TMD Hosting takes security really seriously, and they do so in all their functionalities, they actually provide. And what about customer service? Well, TMD is really up there, and they're really available when it comes to customer service. Now, if you want to have phone support, you gotta be in the US, and you gotta really contact them during US business hours. Otherwise, they're available 24/7, 365 through a live chat. You can through email. Okay, there is a very large and elaborate knowledge base. You have a series of FAQs. So FAQs. You also have webinars and video tutorials. So you have a large constellation of resources you can actually tap into if you want to have customer support. But great. Overall, we love the fact that you don't have to wait that long to get somebody on the phone anyway. So this is kind of cool. So what is the final say here? So when you think about TMD Hosting, I just want to say that this is a platform that we would recommend. When you look at the constellation of services, the features, the business model that they have, this is a hosting platform worth giving a try to. Okay, and so it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. Now, TMD Hosting is not perfect, right? And you will find no shortage of frustrated ex-customers who hold a grudge against the company. At the same time, every web host has them, and as long as you understand what you're getting yourself into, it's a pretty good budget web hosting provider with a few standout features like the daily backups. Think about it; it's easy to get started. So in terms of UX and UI, you will be pretty satisfied. And but just make sure that you pick the right plan. If you do not, you will quickly get frustrated. And the same holds true if you expect extensive support, because while the engineers are there to help you around the clock, it doesn't have TMD Hosting doesn't have the best reputation among customers and ex-customers alike in terms of customer service, and most importantly, responsiveness. Okay, so ultimately, when you really think about it, for all intents and purposes, you get what you paid for. You get what you paid for, and as long as you don't go in with unrealistically high expectations, TMD Hostings will not let you down. So it's one of those things where you have to really think about it. And we believe that TMD Hosting has it's really a good value for money, with unlimited SSD storage, unlimited bandwidth, and a number of free features like a domain name, backups, and website migration. TMD Hosting gives you terrific value. Regular prices are not as low as some hosts, but discounts are usually quite generous. And it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. They do have a cPanel, so every Linux-based TMD or hosting plan comes with cPanel at no extra cost. And they also have a generous 60-day money-back guarantee on shared and cloud hosting plans with terms longer than a month. The platform also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee on VPS, dedicated server, and reseller plans, but there is no refund available for bare metal servers, domain names, or add-on services. It may also be worth noting that any refunds are only for your initial term. There is no money-back guarantee on renewal payments. Thank you so much for your attention. Really appreciate it. Let's quickly do a recap here. So I was talking to you about TMD hosting into this conversation. So I give you the bird's eye view of the platform, the value added, the pricing, the extras, and the final say. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.